Hey dudes, welcome back. We're about to hop back into the Sound and the Fury with the Late Age Ulm. It's turn 67. My goal is to do 2 turns this episode. We'll see if we can do it. The clock is ticking. A message from Marithra. Alright, I'll begin attacking Abyssia this turn and hopefully draw him away from your land. If I'm able to make headway against Abyssia, I can also open up a second front against Lemuria. Okay, that makes sense. So we have cast Infernal... Let's check our sites real quick. No sites... Yeah, okay. We didn't do much site searching. We got one dude here. And as I said last episode, the best thing about doing this is you're pinning the army these guys are leading. If you're a Blood Nation, once you get Infernal Disease, it's extremely hard to raid against you with small armies. So if that's what they're doing, this is a really strong counter. And this is actually this is Sinless or Hars, and you can see, I think this was just one casting, and they kill just a ton of ghosts. Like, this would overwhelm, like one vampire and a fair amount of PD, yet Lesser Horror will dispatch them rather efficiently. Yeah, and then we get this. I think I Cloud Trapeze this guy. As one does. Hopefully he doesn't die. So he had this gear on him to teleport, not Cloud Trapeze, sorry. And importantly, I have finally switched him to casting spells instead of these shenanigans with attacking, but we're kind of relying on them getting in close range so that our Soul Vortex runs and pulls us out of whatever fatigue we get from spell casting. So, like, we're down to 72, 55, 40, and you can see it's working quite fabulously. Unfortunately, I'm getting some afflictions. These guys really would not mind having a bigger HP pool. That's probably the best way to reduce the amount of afflictions you get, because you already have regeneration. So putting and that's going to give them strength too. So that's probably something I should be looking to do on any thug-like vampires. Then, let's take a look what else happened. We effectively dispatched, I think, this army here with Hars. So I was thinking the thing is, Lesser Hars can get countered by PD. Like, if you do a 20 PD, Lesser Hars usually are going to kill it. And then if you cast it twice, what I have noticed is casting Lesser Horror twice tends to work more than it did. In the past, this may still be how it works. They used to be on different teams, and they would attack each other, like Squad 1 and Squad 2 that you summon would attack each other. They would also attack the enemy, but it was kind of random, and so it became ineffective to kind of spam a lot of Horrors in one province. I'm not doing it here, but I have noticed it does seem to work better. They seem to not attack each other as much. If at all. I can't remember a time I've seen it in this game, or another game I'm playing in with a Blood Nation where it's happened. But it totally still could be the case. We get raided here, and then I think that, yeah, this was me sending a dude with disease to die. This is him clearing off my fort. And then... Okay, wait, we're skipping ahead, sorry guys. Clearing off my fort, raids me here. I throw him away. Okay, this is Abyssia not Abyssia, Utgard trying to attack me. And we may have both been trying to catch Lemurian raiders, but this is not going to go well for him. So... Too bad. I kind of want Utgard's thugs to stay alive, but Was that against me? No, that was against Stuttgart. The old Air Elemental Raider. Then Lemuria is attacking me here. I don't really have much to defend. Utgard with a very effective little thug right there. Takes out those dudes. Then up here, Lemuria is attacking Utgard. And this is kind of boring clicking through all this. I think I've done this past few episodes. I get like bored doing it. So we're not going to do it. We're just going to kind of do it from the world map from now on. So if... we'll come back and look at the report for some things, but I'm not going to like sit here with this screen up clicking on 20 battles anymore. That part of the game is over. So if we look at it, what has happened, right? There was a huge army here, and we sent in a big death squad. So let's see what the hell happens. This is the big meat for the turn. So on Lemuria's side, we see they have a Mage of Spring, who's going to be casting something, I'm not sure. This guy who looks like he's going to cast Firestorm, or try to. This guy can probably do Armies of Lead or Gold. This guy, Rigor Mortis. Not sure. I wonder what heroic trait this guy got. Enormous Strength, huh? So he must hit quite... well, not even really. He's got a chest wound too, so that detracts from it. Anyway. This should... and then he's got... okay, I missed these. He's got a ton of these guys here. I think this is Light of the Northern Stars. This guy's probably anti-magic. I don't know what he's doing with... it's probably Grip of Winter. No, that's not enough. Wailing Winds, or Wind of Death. Yeah, so... and then he's got these Unfrozen Warriors, which you get from an enchantment spell. It's pretty expensive, but it's okay. And I've got, on my side, basically enough to just get off... I mean, these guys aren't going to, like, win any fights. Just enough to get off Undead Mastery. And I think, if you recall last time, I might not have had enough slaves. Yeah, see, we cast Bone Grinding instead of Undead Mastery, so this does not go well. And I'm probably going to kill a lot of my own dudes. This is one of the guys supposed to cast... yeah. So we kind of end up murdering ourselves. I don't think I had gone back and checked when this happened. Why I ended up getting wrecked this battle. I just knew the spells didn't get off, and I blamed it on the game. But, yeah, it was a user error. I think what had happened was I had counted it right, and then I had, like, taken away a few slaves and gave them some other activity. But this is not good. That's going to be, like, basically a complete wipe. Land of Plenty. Yeah, I mean, we get totally wrecked here. I lose a ton of items, give a ton of items to them, and don't really kill much of value. We kill them, I mean, nothing. Just nothing. I mean, we kill some of their ghosts, so it's going to stop the sieging, but not worth it. Now, Bone Grinding may not be a horrible way to kill off a huge ghost stack if he's trying to break siege, but I wouldn't... I don't... If I did just that, like if this battle was the same but I didn't take any of my items, or put as many death gems on for casting, I would have been totally cool with this, but yeah, the fact that I lost all those items is a big deal. Anyway, this army's basically gone. Bone Grinding is kind of an underused thing, too. Let's take a look at that. Or I figure what it is. Is it enchantment? Alteration, yeah. So, yeah, it's 3 armor negating damage to the whole battlefield, and then plus a dice roll. So, let's say if the dice roll's on 2 on average, then you're going to get 5. So, let's actually see what it does with the first casting. Okay, it's coming up. Prepares to cast Bone Grinding. Okay, we cast Bone Grinding, and if we just zoom in, it's in Marnegate, so you can see not everybody's taking Wait, is it Imar negates? I'm not sure. We're gonna check. Not everybody got hit by it. So in some ways people dodged it, but the damage when people got hit, it looks like they took between like 5 to 6. And I think it's going to happen again in a hot second. No, okay. So yeah, it did a pretty good amount of damage. Let's take a look at it and see real quick what it does. Yeah, it's MR negates. So actually having the... Oh wait, no, this part isn't. These are MR negates. So I guess it's kind of okay. The real problem was losing all those items, which Lemuria now has. So that is another problem, because like if you look at it, I had a bunch of cool stuff on my dudes, like what this guy. Wait, which guys? Yeah, like this guy. I don't want Lemuria to have all this shit. Like, this is a really good item. This is a really good item. Yeah, and I basically just gave it to him. So yeah, that was really, really dumb. I think if I got off Undead Mastery, it probably would have been okay. 6 castings with 4 magic penetration. 1 second, let me do the math. Yeah, so I just did the math, and basically, if you have 4 magic penetration and you're using Undead Mastery against dudes with 17 MR, which is about what they had, you're going to get about 14% of them per cast. And then, if you do the math for accounting for diminishing returns, casting it 6 times, you get how much? You get like 38% of them, so like 40%. So basically, yeah, that probably would have been enough to win, because we would have gotten a ton of them, and then they would have attacked their own dudes. Hopefully we would have gotten a major too. Bringing 1 more would have been good, but I was kind of desperate. This fort was about to break. Anyway, it's not going to break anymore, because we are now repairing the walls faster. This one, we've got a little bit of a ticking time bomb here with 300 guys on top, and then this one we've got 150, but they are not breaking through our walls. We have plenty of dudes inside. So, anyway, crisis averted, but kind of through a bumble rather than good play. We got attacked here. I had pulled my dudes back. I wasn't expecting him to throw away another troop, but he wanted to, and I was not there to kill it with my Ghoul Guardians. So that is unfortunate. We got raided here, which is not good. I think I had... didn't I have some vampires here? Oh, I didn't. I forgot. This was one of the lands I gave back to Abyssia, or gave to Abyssia as a sign of our everlasting friendship. So, yeah. One thing, again, I'm not paying attention to is my troops are starving, which doesn't affect my commanders, but it means these guys are going to be getting afflicted, as you can see. So not a huge deal, it's just my little population's going to somewhat self-regulate, which is not something I want, because unfortunately what it will mean is I'll have a lot of people in the process of dying, which I don't particularly want. It would be good to get Gift of Health up this game. I think it would be really good. It will make my shitty guys a little less shitty in my own dominion, and it will allow me to do Tartarians, which will be really good for me because I don't have a ton of magic diversity. I think in most of the games I play with LA Ulm that go into the late game, I end up going for Tarts. I'm doing it super slow here. It's not a focus for me. That was kind of one of the reasons I wanted to get Conjuration 8 was to do Will of Misery, but I'm kind of having some second thoughts on that. I do have this Conjuration... Where are you? Oh, I haven't found it yet. Later I'm going to find a Conjuration site, which would be good. And then for events, nothing super duper cool. And I think that's mostly it. So, orders for this turn, we are basically... This is our most critical fort, so we're going to kind of want to clear this off. So we're moving some stuff in. Basically what we're moving in is... Let's see where the guys... Okay, this guy's breaking siege with anti-magic. And then we have a bunch of these guys moving in. And their job is to do one thing of Horde of Skeletons and then spam Wither Bones. And they're basically set up where these guys are going to be communion slaves all in the front. And, yeah, that will hopefully absorb or they're going to get a ton of cool things on them, like Iron Skin and Soul Vortex and Temper Flesh, and that should make them actually a pretty good front line and protect these guys in the back who are going to spam Wither Bones, which won't affect these guys since they're not dead. That is the plan. Wither Bones, I think as we saw at the end of this battle, which wasn't planned. Wait, was it this one? No, it was the battle in Mictlan. Wither Bones actually did a ton of work. So I think that's actually better than summoning skeletons in terms of bang for your buck. So we're going to be doing that. I'm expecting they'll die, but I need to get these armies off the forts. And again, unlike other nations like Scaleria, for example, or even Airmore. Airmore gets so much shit. You know, you can't kill the stuff they're sending out as fast as they can create it. Lemuria, on the other hand, while it feels like they have an infinite amount of ghosts, they do not. And killing ghosts will significantly weaken them. If you kill a lot of ghosts per turn, they are not going to be able to replenish them that quickly. So, yeah. We are going to basically just throw these guys at them and try to kill them. And this is going to be a rather... This guy's moving... Wait, is he coming in or out? Okay, this guy's coming in, and he's doing... I don't know what he's doing. I don't know why he's even here. But anyway, he's going to be in the back doing that. I think I probably should have had him set up to do Soul Drain. But I didn't. Don't know why. These guys are also moving in with these guys on hold and attack. I'm not really totally sure. I think I don't want these to be on the front line and eat some of the evocations. They'll kind of filter in through the back. I also have Life After Death coming up for my Communion Slaves, so they'll last a little longer. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else in particular. I don't think so. Don't think so. So that's basically it. We're going to go ahead and hop to the next turn here, and we'll try to get 2 in. So that was turn, I think, 67, so we're going to go to turn 68. And here we go. Okay, this is kind of important. I'm starting to cast Vile Water, and what I'm doing is I'm planning to take this throne. And what I have learned is I can use my chaff to break the walls, because they will come in and they move. Basically, okay, let's talk about turn sequence. If I move dudes onto here, like Magic Phase will pass, then these guys attack, and they'll be on top. The towers take siege damage after the move, so you can move a big army in 1 turn crack fort. You all know that. Now, that means my chaff is still going to be pretty damn good at cracking forts, so long as I don't move them from one blob, I move them in from several different angles at once. What I need, though, is I need dudes that can actually go into the fort and attack, which means they need to survive flames from the sky. So I'm going to need a significant enough contingent of dudes to go inside the fort on a leader that will not be killed by this, and go murder these guys that are inside. And the best answer I've been able to come up with, because I was searching through the database for things that are fire resistant and don't horribly suck, was Vile Waters, which is down here, and this basically gives you a gelatinous cube, and you only get 1, but they're pretty cool. I think they're size 4, they have 50 HP, they have Incorporation, which I don't fully know how that works. I think they get HP for people they swallow, and yeah, if you buff, they also have a fair amount of resistances. If you buff them, like if I drop Armies of Gold on them or something like that, they actually will be pretty damn hard. Mass Flight they will certainly like also, so that might be part of my plan, and he would not expect it, just Mass Flight, gelatinous cubes running around, jumping on top of them. That would be probably pretty scary. We're not going to do it soon. I mean, true to our word, we are going to try to push Lemuria back. But I'm not going to be summoning these cubes at a very high rate. So for me to have like 100 to go in there, I kind of got to get started. I think I'm starting over here. This is where the summoning is actually taking place. The other thing I need is so fiery imps, they are fire resistant enough and have enough strength they can also kind of act as chaff to go in through the gates. I think later I'm going to move these guys actually closer so I don't have to transport them, but fiery imps, and which requires blood and fire, and fiery imps almost cost nothing too. It's like 2 slaves and you get 5 of them, so pretty damn good in terms of your value. And they actually, if you give them a strength buff, they're not super horrible because they get this throw flames, which does fire armor piercing damage, so like 5, but that's because it's 3 less than their strength. So if I get this up to like 12, then this will... It's not going to be helpful versus Abyssia, really, but this will be okay. These are not horrible troops if you're in a pinch and have a fire blood mage. Especially if you can do things like Bloodlust on them, but... Yeah, like Bloodlust, and then Mass Protection, they would actually be pretty damn solid. Whoops. Pretty damn solid for the amount of money you're spending. So, we'll go through these. Auspex did not find anything. Did not find any sites. You can see Blood Economy still going strong. We did not summon anybody, but we are seducing, and he'll get some kind of message that we're trying to seduce him here. And, yeah, we'll just keep doing that. Okay, wait, this is the battle, I think, here. So this is what we just talked about. Unfortunately, I don't think we got Iron Skin off, which was the purpose of this dude. So that's unfortunate. And we see Firestorm coming up. Firestorm is very, very bad for vampires. So, yeah, Wither Bones is working pretty well, but unfortunately, the clock is ticking. Did he get... Yeah, he got Armies of Gold off, so his guys are not going to die to Firestorm. So that you know, the way Firestorm works is I think it does like 8 armor-piercing damage. Whoops. And what that means is it'll first do a check against fire resistance. In this case, these guys are weak, so that damage will get bumped up to like 13. Then that'll do a check against protection as magic fire damage. Which is armor piercing, so it'll cut protection in half. In my case, it'll take just full damage because I have no protection. But like versus these guys, they have 22, so it's going to be... They're not fire weak either, so it'll be like 8 against 11 protection. These guys are actually going to hold up pretty well against Firestorm. But these guys are going to be... because they have fire resistance now from Armies of Gold and 20 protection, basically it'll become 3 damage against 11 protection. They're basically immune. So to be immune from Firestorm, you need like the 5 fire resistance, but you also need a good bit of protection. Otherwise, you'll eventually die. And you can see Wither Bones going off. So this is kind of what we expected. Unfortunately, we didn't get Iron Skin off, which would have made these guys basically much more immune to Firestorm. So my Communion Slaves are all dying. It wouldn't have helped my Vampires, which are all dying off pretty quick. This guy, however, has fire resistance, so he is not going to die. Unfortunately, I think what that means is... Okay, we got a big rout, too, so that's pretty good. Okay, but he runs away, so I don't lose his gear. So that's actually pretty good. That went about as good as I could have expected. We lost everything. They convert a Ghoul Guardian with Undead Command, but they lost most of their troops. Their mages are still around, but this accomplished kind of what I wanted it to. I mean, I would have loved to have won the battle. But you can see the walls are repairing now faster than they can damage them. And then this fort is really the only one that's left, but it's repairing too. So they are unable to take these forts. They have moved some raiders on top of here, and on top of here, and on top of here. Let's watch this real quick. I can't remember if I had anybody here defending. So I did. I had some vampires. And you would think this would be enough. But it's not. I really need Wither Bones. Just Skeleton spam is not very effective. And my guys jump in. Why do I have this scripted where they jump in? It's so dumb. I'm like very dense sometimes. Don't judge me by how I play this game. They also attacked here. I promise I do fix this eventually. This is one of the things, and I wasn't recording at the time. If you want to play this game better, one of the things you can do is record. God, he jumps in again. What an idiot. Like, this many vampires should totally be able to kill. And later they will, but they just are scripted so badly. They can jump in and attack and thug if they have gear, but then I want to be careful because they can get murdered by Undead Command for good. So, yeah, one of the things, if you want to play better, is go back and actually watch your turn. Like, think critically about your turns, which is what this forces you to do. I mean, a lot of times by the time you get this late in the game, the turns take so long, right? You get it and you're like, okay, like, I screwed up, and it makes you feel bad, and that's kind of just it. You just, like, feel really bad about it, but you don't really, you're like, okay, I gotta ignore how I feel about it. I have to just go in and play this turn as best I can, and you end up kind of just, like, ignoring the shit and doing the best you can for your current turn file. Or at least that's how I am sometimes. So, coming in and being forced to, like, analyze yourself, in part knowing that, like, people watching your video are going to comment on it, not in a negative way, but just saying, like, oh man, you should have thought of this, or you should have thought of that. Well, you end up thinking about those things too, and it ends up making you a better player. It really does. So, because I got so far behind in recording, I think, like, from turn 55 to 80, I hadn't been recording real time. I think the quality of my play suffered some. So, anyway, we're going to snipe this. Is this one commander? I think so. Yeah, one commander. So we're going to try to snipe him. We're going to be doing Infernal Disease. One of the things I'm realizing, and I didn't realize this well enough before, is how critical Infernal Disease was to winning a war against Lemuria. And while I have very good blood access, I don't have very high blood access, and Infernal Disease requires pretty high blood. You need blood 5, and like my Vampire Lords, which are pretty expensive, they're blood 3, so they need 2 boosters. So what I'm looking to do is make a lot more blood boosters. Now to do this, I need some, and I'm kind of short. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start trying to really scale up blood booster production so that I can have at least, let's say, 4 Infernal Diseases a turn. So we're doing it with this guy in a Ring of Wizardry. If you recall, I lost that Armor of the Soul thing. Yeah, Armor of Souls. Due to that horror attack on my vampire way back when. So anyway, we kind of have to bootstrap ourselves back up. We're making one of these first, and then we'll make an Armor of Souls. We're also starting to hoard Astral Pearls in preparation for Undead Mastery, and we've hit Conjuration 8. We're going to run up to Blood 9. I'm not actually going to. I think we're going to run up to Blood 8. That's going to give me the very powerful Rush of Strength. I don't see this used a ton in games. This is such a good spell. It's really, really good. It's one of the best spells in the game. There's very few spells which will buff your attack damage on your troops. It's much easier to buff their defense. And this is one of the few spells that will do it. So, there's kind of some other thing. The other way to kind of do it is in Earth. You can do... Oh, it's in Construction. Yeah. You get Weapons of Sharpness. This effectively buffs your strength. There's not much that will do that, though. So it's kind of like that, and then... I mean, battlefield wide. And that's not battlefield wide either. I mean, you have Strength of Giants, which will do like a very... or, well, not very small, but it'll do an AoE strength buff. But for like big battles, Rush of Strength is kind of one of the better spells for increasing troop damage output. Yeah, so that's a pretty good spell. And let's see. So here we moved this group back out. Let's see if we got a good battle here. I bet we ended up just fighting PD. Yeah, it's annoying. So we're basically... Oh, we're moving back. I don't know why. Probably should just sit here. Anyway, we're moving back. Where am I casting Infernal Disease? We're casting it at 40. So we're sniping this group. This group, we therefore are probably going to defend in other ways. We probably... Yeah, we're going to patrol here. Let's take a look at everybody coming in. So we've got... Okay, we've got a little communion slave set up. We've got these guys in the front being communion slaves, and then we've got some vampires, which... They're blood hunting, they're not patrolling. Who's patrolling? I've got a bunch of slaves, I don't see... Okay, this guy's patrolling. He's going to do Communion Master, Iron Skin, Tipper Flesh, Astral Shield, Summon Earth Power, all very good stuff. But I probably need more than that. Like, shouldn't I have some other stuff? Weird. Very weird. I wonder if that works. Basically, I'm just doing a wall of Communion Slaves with them getting buffed up. I don't even think I have Soul Vortex on them. I don't know how are they going to kill anything. Weird. Very, very weird. I think I'm just throwing away mages here. If they attack, I don't know what the hell I'm thinking. There's a group on top of here. Oh, they do have a Shadow Tribune. We're mind hunting too at 40. So that's here. So I'm definitely going to kill this guy. This is kind of a waste because Infernal Disease is pretty damn reliable at killing guys. So mind hunting there's a bit of a waste. Here we're teleporting to the halls, which is 132. So we're going to teleport this guy on top of this army and hope to kill it. Let's take a look at him again. Pretty strong, the Charcoal Shield. He'll be able... Let's see what script we gave him. He probably has like Astral Shield, Soul Vortex, Resist Magic. That actually is going to help defense against ghosts. Astral Shield, which should help against them also. And Skeletal Body, which will help against them also. So... he will be very, very tanky, and then he's going to hopefully just murder them. And, yeah, hopefully he'll kill that group. I don't know what I have planned for there. Maybe Lesser Horror spam. So here we're casting that at 76. Which is here. Okay, so this is actually kind of funny. I see a fort going up here with my scouts. And this is the thing, if you're doing Lesser Horror spam, you almost always want to accompany it with the scout army. And I don't really have a great scout army, but I have enough of them in the right places. So, you do not want to attack the same province you're in with the scout. So like this one, I see a fort, I don't attack it with this guy, because the scout will actually show up in the battle and die. You want to move this scout to a different province. You need that scout nearby that's going to move in and attack. And that will make it happen during the movement phase, not during the magic phase. And thereby he won't get hit by the horrors. So anyway, that's kind of how that works. But yeah, we're gonna hopefully catch this fort. I mean, I can't imagine that with the 10 guys here, he's got enough to defend the fort. So yeah, we will take that out as a favor to our Utgard defenders. So yeah, that's basically the name of the game is, and I wonder if I finally like fixed my scripts here. Okay, this actually is a much better script. So we've got 2 guys cast that are going Sabbath Master and then Wither Bones. And then here we've got 2 Sabbath Slaves, and then this guy doing the same thing. So this is a much, much better script. The only thing is they are all doing Reinvigoration at the end. I should probably scatter it throughout, but... Much better script. Much better script. This will murder anything that comes into it. Like, if this army moves in, they'll get murdered. I'm patrolling here too with some Ghoul Guardians plus this guy, which, you know, probably should give him a gem so he can do Earth Power. But also probably is sufficient how it is. But better be safe. And it's only one Earth Gem. And then here, we've already talked about that. We're not really patrolling here with anything of value, so he could move here and probably take this. I think that's about it. Yeah, this Wraith Lord is just going to keep control of this lake system. And what happened here? There was a battle between Utgard and Lemuria. So Lemuria was actually sieging this fort down and doing a pretty good job. And they had an enchantress here. I don't know what her job... It looks like... Maybe I don't know what she was supposed to do. Maybe like swarm? I don't know what you do with 3 gems on... Or 2 gems on a nature one as swarm. And their thug gets in there. So this, if you look at it, I mean, this is really a defense on a shoestring. And you really have to just... I mean, this is so well scripted. These guys have growth on them. And they have regeneration on them. So they're going to be very, very good communion batteries. They have just a minimally geared, but, you know, very efficient thug in the Scrotty. And yeah, they're just murdering these ghosts. Just absolutely murdering them. So, yeah, like that was a super efficient defense. Let's look at the battle toll there. Strongdale. Yeah, lost 4 crossbowmen. And killed like 100... I mean, this is a pretty big raiding force. You know, I mean, she had an enchantress to deal with thugs with swarm. You know, so it was a thug backed up with just the right amount of skill spam. Really beautiful. Really beautiful. Yeah, here, let's see what happened. Same sort of deal. We have a gnome, which is interesting. Those guys are actually pretty damn good. I wonder where he's getting the gnome from. You can get them from events and then Gift of Reason them. There's also a site that will give it to you. So how is he going to deal with this thug? He's got Skella Spammers versus this thug, which has the Ice Aegis, which is quite good in Cold Dominion. This guy has Awe, which... Oh, that's from his Bless. And Fear and Regeneration. And yeah, pretty damn solid. Not crazy. Okay, so he runs into the skeletons, and the skeletons actually will probably do a little bit... I mean, they're not going to be able to get through his protection. Let's be real about that. Maybe these giant ones can. Let's see how much damage they do. 32? Yeah, that can get through the protection. It doesn't look like these guys are really ever attacking him. Oh, they're routing? That's kind of why. Yeah, they're not really doing much except providing like a shield on his backside so that he can't get attacked. Have we gotten a rout here? Is that why he's turned around? Okay, so this guy's actually routed. Okay, he's going to escape. So, that was just a draw. Wonder if we had a bit... Let's just check, see if this is a big battle. If this is just a stomping, we'll go somewhere else. Okay. And then here, we've got... Yeah. Utgard doing his own air elemental raiding. So very funny. They're both throwing air elemental raiders back at each other. And yeah, I think this is about it for this turn. Our blood economy is going pretty good. We've started to, we've got blood centers coming up here. We're starting to kind of blood hunt here. We're not going to be blood hunting in this. It's kind of too rich. But we've got our eyes on this. We want to take it. And we'll probably take it kind of soon, but I want to be careful not to get screwed over here. I had also promised that we're going to get a vampire center set up here, and you can see, indeed, we do have it. We've got these guys casting Sanguine Heritage, this guy casting it too, so we're getting 3 vampires here a turn. We probably will get a couple more Vampire Lords over here and increase that amount, but for now, no. And then, yeah, Lesser Horrors coming out. So, yeah, all in all, and we're making more Worms that Walk. Let's see if we've gotten any particularly interesting ones lately. Not that I see. But we're going to keep summoning them. And like one of the most interesting ones is you can get a Nature 4 one, which is one of the higher nature guys that you can summon if you get lucky. Yeah, so I think that's it for this turn, and therefore for this episode. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next time.